Everybody, it is February 20th, 2025, and we're back with another market update. I'm supposed to do these on Wednesday, but obviously it's Thursday, but here we go anyways. Well, I want to start off by telling you that inventory is surging, sales are slowing, and it seems like the average price is coming down a little bit. Let me give you a little bit more details about what I'm seeing here right now. So if I look week over week, the inventory has been up about 3%, which is about 584 units. But if I look at year over year, yeah, it's still sky high. We're like basically, 54% more inventory than we had last year. In unit volume, we're still talking upwards of about 7,000 more units on the market across the GTA. 54%, it's a lot more inventory. I want to note again, I know I keep calling these regions out, but Halton and Peel is up quite a bit. Like we're talking about 75 and 72% higher than last year, respectively. If I look at this also, it's just a tiny little detail when I get into the numbers. So if I look at Toronto, yeah, the condo units are up for sure in terms of listings available for sale. And they are up from last year about 42%. The interesting thing I saw today is that the freehold is actually up 52%. So I would have thought, if I didn't know any better, that, hey, it would probably be more condos that are on the market than freehold, but having 10% more of the freehold on the market, that's interesting, something interesting to watch anyways. I'm gonna get back to my theory as to why the inventory is climbing a little bit less last week versus the week before in a second, because I wanna go over the sales, because it's all tied together here right now. If I look at last year versus this year in terms of sales, we are actually still down 20.6%, which is about just under 1,500 units. Halton, again, is down the most. They're down about 30% in terms of unit sales. If I look week over week, we are actually down about 12%, 121 units. And York region is actually up now by about 9% compared to last week. And this is where I wanted to tie it back together. So obviously, the weather outside has not been the best. So I think this is why we saw maybe the listings kind of slow down a little bit because, who really wants to list their house in a snowstorm? That's one factor. And the other thing also is with the sales. Like, I think the sales were a little bit lower this week versus last week is really, again, who wants to go out there and look at houses when you gotta, pack everybody in and pack up, bundle up and go out there. So I think that maybe last week was a little bit skewed because of the weather, but that's still something that we have to wait and see on. Just want to quickly hit on prices over here too. So if I compare the prices to our 52-week high, like our rolling 52-week high, we're actually down overall by 7.6%, which is about $87,000. Now, week over week, we're still down in terms of price. It's about 3.1% or about $34,000. Again, is this going to be because of the weather? Is this because of economic uncertainty? I'm not really sure at this point right now. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of, instead of looking at everything overall, you guys probably already know my favorite region or city is Pickering at this point. So I actually drilled down into Pickering a little bit and I want to share some of that information with you guys. Okay, so basically if I look at unit sales from January 1st to February 14th last year versus this year, we're actually up in terms of unit sales and we're up about 12 units, that's right, which equals about 11.3%. But the interesting thing over here is that, we see wild numbers like this because we have a small kind of area, I want to still call it. See, last year we did about, in semi-detaches, we did 10 sales. This year, so far we've done 3. So we're down 70%. So that's what I'm saying. It's only like 7 units, but the percentage looks massive. On the other hand, what I wanted to also show you guys is that last year we did 15 condo sales. And this year so far, we've done 25 condo sales. So we're up 66.7%. Obviously, the reason for that is that we've never had this many condos in Pickering ever before. We have Universal City 3 starting to close right now, and I do suspect that we are going to see more units on the market at that time as well. I believe it's closing towards the end of this month, early March. And one of the reasons I really think that we are going to see more of these units come to the market more than usual is this. These units were kind of sold in like 2019, so 5-6 years ago. And now that this building is coming for occupancy, things are completely different. When people bought these, there was a completely different intention, right? We didn't have COVID. None of this stuff had ever happened. We've never seen the crazy inflation. We've never seen these kind of things happen. So the intention was completely different in 2019 versus what it is right now. So I think that people that committed to these units, they really haven't seen any kind of price appreciation. At best case, I would say at this point right now, whatever price they had on the contract is pretty much what it's worth right now. So you could call that they're even, but you go to sell this unit right now, you're going to be in the hole because you're going to have to pay the HST on it. You're going to have realtor commissions. You're going to have the lawyer fees. You're still going to have the land transfer tax because chances are right now, you're not going to be able to assign this. There's a ton of assignments out there right now. People are willing to walk away from their entire deposit plus add money on top of it just because they can't close and they don't want to get sued. And I suspect this builder is going to sue people if they don't get their money. So overall, I think that's where the condo is. I just went on a tangent there. But in Pickering overall, we've just seen a slight drop in average price in the first month and a half. It's about 1.8%, $16,000, $17,000. But the interesting thing is that the days on the market are actually improved. They're about 5 days less overall on the market. I don't know exactly what's going to happen here at this point right now. I do suspect that as the weather starts to get better, our sales will improve. I think at the same time, we'll probably see more inventory come on. Now it's going to be a kind of a fine balance of saying, hey, how many sales are we going to get and how much inventory are we going to get? Are sales going to start to surpass the amount of inventory that comes up? Because if it doesn't, obviously we're going to start to pile up inventory. Like as of today, we're just about to hit across the GTA about 20,000 listings available for sale. That's quite a big number. I mean, it's not the big number that we were at in September of 24 of sitting at about 26,000 or just over 26,000 listings available for sale. But at the rate that we are going right now, if we don't see these sales pick up, we will be sitting at a higher inventory position. And I think my guess is that when we get to kind of passing this 20,000, when we get to 22, 23, 24,000, yeah, I don't think that the sellers are going to have much control about what's going on over here, despite of the interest rates. I mean, the interest rates overall so far since they started dropping them have come down 2%. But even right now, when we have another interest rate reduction, it seems like that's the way we're going, at least a quarter point, if not a half. Maybe they might do a quarter point right now. And then if Trump imposes these tariffs, we might even have an emergency rate reduction as well, which might even bring it down initially at a quarter and then maybe another quarter. So bring it down by half. But I think with all of the uncertainty, I don't think that's really motivating people to actually get out there and buy real estate or even upgrade their real estate. I think people just want to be stable at this point right now. If they don't have to make a move, they're not making a move at this point. I'd like to know what you guys are actually thinking. So not that I'm trying to, get off of your business. I'd like to, but just kind of interested to see where you guys are at. Like if you were thinking about doing something in real estate, what's your hesitation at this point right now? Is it the weather? Is it economic uncertainty? Is there something else that's stopping you from making this decision? Shoot me a DM, leave me a comment, or just leave me your general thought about what's going on in the market and why we are not selling as many units as we typically should be. Thanks, guys.